Hi, in the previous tutorial we set our Redux and even test it, check the Redux dev tool, we see how it works. In this tutorial we will fetch data from database and insert it into the Redux state that we created, then display it to the postbox here. That is the component that we have created, postbox. So to do this we will use Axios for REST API call. So now let's create a new terminal. In the new terminal, go to the directory of the social app and then we install Axios. npm install Axios. Okay, then click enter. It will take a little time to install. So now our Axios is installed. When you check your package.json, inside the package.json you will see that we have Axios, and here it is. Now what remaining is that we will use these to make a REST API call. So let's create a new file inside the source. Okay, inside the source file we will create a new file and call that file API. It is a JavaScript file, new JS file. Okay, so inside this we will have all the logic for making REST API call. First, let's import the Axios from Axios. So here it is. We are now importing Axios. Okay, so the next thing we will do, let's have our base URL, but before then let's create a class here, class API. Okay, so inside this class we will have some method that make a REST API call. So let's export this class. We will export it in such a way that other classes will access the members of the API. So we will export it like this, new API. So this is how we export this. Okay, now let's have some methods that operate on the data that we have. First, we will create a method that will get data from database, that is get post method, and then inside this method we will make a REST API call. Return Axios dot, you will have access to get, post, create, all the operations. So now we will get this, we will use get. As you can see inside this, we are using the get here, get all posts. That is the target URL that we are working on. Okay, so now let's go back. So now first we need to have a base URL. So the base URL, now let's define a const of social API base URL equal to, so we will have it inside this. So to get it, simply let's access the browser and try to, from the browser we will try to access this endpoint. Okay, so let's go inside the browser. So it's taking time entering the browser. Okay, here are we. So when we try to access by having social API, you see we have this social API post. Now it will bring all the data that we have in the database as we did it before. Okay, you see here it is. So now we copy the URL from here and then take it to this. So we are using the base URL, so and this is not part of the base URL. We will add it later in the get method that we just called. Okay, so save this, and then we have social API base URL. After adding social API base URL, we will combine it with the what we want to access the endpoint, that is this one. Okay, so let's copy it, go back to the VS Code and add it like this. So that is what we will use to make a request get post. We will access it and get a post. Now let's change this to get post because we are getting a lot of posts, not only one. Okay, so it is better like this. The next thing we will do is that we will fetch the data using this method and pass it to our get available post that we created in the action. So let's go to the action.js. Here in the action.js we will use our API to fetch data, the function that we just defined now, and dispatch the data to the get available post. So let's import the API that we just defined. Okay, here it is, and then here we need to define a function. Let's name it export function. Let's name it get post. Okay, different from the get post that we defined. So and this will get post using the one that we defined get post, and then pass it to the get available post. So here we will define how we will use the dispatch. Okay, so we are not using the dispatch like store dot dispatch that we used earlier to dispatch the data. So we are using the dispatch like this, and it will help us because we have the tongue middleware. If you can go to the store.js, here we have this get default middleware, and it includes the tongue middleware. So it helps us and allow us to do some asynchronous work, such as sending REST API call. And here is important information: this root reducer that we have, you have to remove the bracket, just root reducer, and if you remove it like this, then you may not have problem in the future mapping your function. So you have to leave it like this. Okay, so now let's go back to the action.js and continue. So we call the API.getPost, and it will return a promise. After getting post, we need to perform some operation. Okay, so let's use the data like this, and then we will call the dispatch. But before then, let's have a curly bracket like this. So we call the dispatch and then get available post. So inside the get available post, our data, we will pass it here, res.data. So we also need to log the data so that we can see during the process. Log. So and let's name this data fetch from db. So, and we want to concatenate it with the res.data, but in this case we need it to be in a JSON string file so that we can see it as JSON. So we need to call JSON.string file. Okay, so then we pass the res.data. okay, so this is what we have so far. And in case of an error, so we need to define we need to call another promise catch. So in case of an error, when we have an error, okay, so we need to log the error as well. So console.error, then we will write error while fetching data. So when we concatenate it with the error. Okay, so this is what we have so far, and here we are getting the post from our controller. Here it is. If you can remember, we have defined this in the tutorial. So we are getting this find all posts, and then after finding this post, we are passing it to our get available post, and get available post will store it in the store. So we dispatch this, and in case of an error we have this. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, we need to use this get post inside our post. Okay, now let's go to the post box. As you can see here, we just type the data manually and we are displaying it. Okay, so now we need to use our functions that we just defined to fetch the data from the database. Okay, so first we need to import the function that we just defined, get post. Okay, so we also need to import connect. This connect is a function from the React Redux. Okay, it allows our post box to talk to the store. Connect from React Redux. So this function allow us to have access to the store. So we also need to define two functions again. The first one is the map dispatch to props. So this allows us to access get post as prop inside our component, and we use the connect to pass the parameter of the map dispatch to prop so that it can have access to the store together with the post box. Okay, we also need a map state to props, which is equal to, we pass the parameter of state, we access the state here, and then we will return an object, return object of post state.post. We access the state here, you see, using the state.post. Okay, now we have map dispatch to props and map state to props. What we need to is to use the connect that we just defined to connect them with our box so that we can access port dispatch and the state as props. So now let's pass the map state to props is the first parameter in the connect, and then followed by map dispatch to props. So we also need to have this inside a curly bracket, sorry. So let's save the changes. And first we need to have a component did mount, that is where we will access our get post that make a REST API call. Component did mount, we access it as prop this dot props dot get post. So as you are doing, save it. So we also need to change how this works, because we need to map over array of posts and display each post, and we need to define a function inside our render. And to define a function, we need a curly bracket, we define it inside here. So we use this dot props, you see, then access the post, that is, we are accessing the post that we have here. And remember one thing, important information that I just said, this function in your store earlier, if you have the root reducer inside a curly bracket, you may have inside a curly bracket like this, you may have problem mapping over the function. So we need to remove this and just leave the root reducer like this. Okay, save this and go back to our work inside the post box. Now we access these just props here, this dot props dot post, we access it as props. So now we have access to the state using the help of the connect. Okay, so let's go back to this and have the map, we map over the array. So we need a function post followed by curly bracket, and this will return, this is where we will have our logic here. First we need a div for each post, div with a class name post. Okay, so inside this we need to have, remember we define a post here which we will pass the user and the content as prop. So let's call the post like this here, we already imported it earlier. So inside this, if we map over each post, we need to get the content, we need to get the user. So let's start with the user, post dot user like this, and the content also equal to post dot content. You see we have this, and we need a key or unique identifier to identify the element for the post for each post. So this is where we pass a key, and the key will be, since that each post has a unique ID, that is a primary key in the DB. So we need the post.id as the unique identifier for the post element. So we save these changes, and we go to the controller here. we allow access using the cross origin. That is, we allow our front end to access our backend. Okay, so we use origins equal to, then we have the http/localhost 3000. Okay, now we are allowing access of the localhost 3000 to our place. So now we save the changes. You see, we have saved this. Okay, now let's go back to the post box, check it. So save the changes. To save all the changes, you can save it using here. Okay, let's see if our data is displayed. Okay, we will now reload the data. Okay, you see we have Toby, hi Aliyu, are you there? Toby commented, hi Aliyu, are you there? Because we previously added Toby in the database. Okay, now let's use the postman to add another data, and you can also add another data in your workbench just manually. Okay, so but for me, I will use the postman. If it doesn't have postman, you will just go to the post and add the data as we did earlier in the previous tutorials that we passed. You go to the post and add the data, go to the comment and add the data as well. So I will use the, here we add post like this inside our postman. Okay, so here I will have Aliyu. Okay, here is my full name, Aliyu Sahabo Adam. The content, I will say that he posted also my friend Toby. So, and I will change the ID to 2, and let's add the like to the 3, or like to 4, and the comment as well, we will change the comment ID to 2. So, and let's say that Toby answered hi in the comment. So even though it does not display the comment now, because we did not arrive a place we can have our comment components. Now we are on the post, it doesn't matter, but we added the comment. So let's have this. We are sending this to the add post. Okay, you see it safe. If you check the database and refresh the post, you can see we have hi my friend Toby, posted by Aliyu Sahabo Adam. And then if we go to the comment as well, we will see yes, Aliyu Sahabo Adam, that is, we have hi Toby 3, the user is Toby. Okay, so now let's go to our refresh. You can see we have another hi my friend Toby, hi Aliyu, are you there? So the next thing we will do is to have a create comment component. We will start having implementation of the create comment, so that we will create the comment from here without having to add from the database. Okay, see you in the next lectures. Thank you for watching.